Hey teachers, and welcome to your week 2 summary of Yoga, Mindfulness, Resiliency in the Classroom. This week we talked about waking up with the sun. It was our exercise and our survey on sleep, on what time our students are going to bed and what time they're waking up, and we got some really interesting answers. Some of the classes were saying that they go to bed at 3 a.m. Every school night, and others were pretty clear about them prioritizing 10 hours of sleep a night. And so we gave our students an opportunity to have a conversation about sleep, about what is a time that other students are going to bed, why rest is important, and what time they get up in the morning. We also talked a little bit about nighttime routines and wake-up routines, and we gave some exercises for them to do on both ends of the sleep cycle. In our lesson, we talked about the science of sleeping and how it's important for people ages 6 to 13 to get at least 9 to 11 hours of sleep each and every night. Now, a lot of students kind of push that mark, but then make up for it over the weekend. But it's important to know that there's only a little bit of wiggle room in that, and that our students really, we want to have them be getting about 9 hours of sleep each and every night. Now, around the ages of 13 to 25, we move into this cycle of more of a night owl cycle, which means that you'll start to see students that are kind of pushing the envelope as to what time they go to sleep, and that can create a lot of issues because we know that high school starts earlier than middle school does. So, what happens when we sleep? Well, when we sleep, we go through 4 different cycles of sleep, from that just about barely falling asleep and really easy to wake up to our deep REM, rapid eye movement sleep. That's where we dream. During each of these 4 cycles, which last about 70 to 120 minutes each, we cycle through different states of the brain and different levels of activity in the brain and in the body. When we sleep and when we're resting, this is when the body rests, digests, repairs, and heals. And it's really important for the body to have plenty of good rest in order for that to happen and for us to stay healthy, strong, active, and be able to focus and pay attention in school. Why is sleep important? Well, good sleep affects our attention, memory, and analytical thought. It helps us think clearer and sharper. It helps us understand things better. It helps us be more creative. And it helps our muscles physically repair and stay stronger. Here are some signs of not getting enough sleep. So being sleep deprived, being irritable, feeling sad or anxious more often than usual, having difficulty remembering things, or having in general your executive function dull a bit. You can feel a little clumsy, and often people who have chronic sleep deprivation get sick more often. Here are some fun facts about sleep. This went over really big with our students. 12% of people dream entirely in black and white, and that was quite true and very well represented within our student population. There were some classes where 3 or 4 students said that they dream entirely in black and white, and I just find that so fascinating. In addition, next, the longest period someone has gone without sleep on record is 11 days, which is wild because out of all of our basic necessities, we talk a lot about food and water, right? How we can go only 3 days without having any water. We can go more like 3 weeks to 4 weeks without any food, depending on the person. You can only go a few days without sleep. And in fact, lack of sleep would make you collapse faster than lack of food. So it's super interesting fact and something we don't often think about because it is so natural for us to sleep every night. Things that can contribute to having difficulty sleeping or staying asleep include excessive screen time. Obviously, we know caffeine, energy drinks, sugar, right, can all affect the ability for a person to fall asleep or stay asleep. But we also know that there are lots of ways in which we can work with the body and the physiology, the breath and the mind to help promote sleep and help the body wake up in the morning. So in our class, we shared 4 different ways that you can wake up the body by getting the blood pumping and also using the breath and the mind to get the body waking up. Number 1 is moving the joints. And so we did our standing joint openers again today, and we shared this video in our summary and in our resources. We also work on moving the body and the breath together. So think of our half sun salutations where we're using and connecting breath with movement as we move up and down. Right, that's another way that we can wake up the body. Number 3 is engaging muscles. So think of things like planks and squats, right, which can start to activate those major muscles, and the heart will start to pump more blood to those areas, thus circulating the body a little bit more and getting the body to be more awake and alive. And last, we can also stretch. So even just stretching can start to increase circulation and get blood flowing to the appendages so that you can wake up and feel a little bit more awake and alive. This is good information because in your classrooms, if you find that your kids are feeling really sleepy, there are different things that you can do, including any of the 4 that we listed above. Now, another one that I didn't mention specifically because of the age range of our students, but it's helpful to know, is that making sound is another way to wake up the body. So if you're a person that hops into the shower and sings, that's just another way of waking up the body. Other things that we can do to wake up the body include making that ha, letting go sound in the morning, which is a bit of a down regulation, whereas you can do kind of an ee, and that can be a little bit more of a wake up. So notice the pitch and the tone of your sounds, and that will help you to wake up the body even more. For our movement, we did some pretty basic movements, including planks and lunges and half sun salutations, to really reinforce that experience with our students. Once we were all awake and alive and ready for the day, we then balanced it out. And this is the key piece of yoga, movement, mindfulness, and resiliency that is really helpful and important for us to all know. We're going for balance, right? So we're not looking to just energize or just relax and down-regulate. We're looking for that balanced state of being, right? That balanced state in between, active nervous system and passive nervous system. We're looking for that state in between hyper-arousal brain and bored, tired, disengaged brain. We want that place in between. And so what we look for is bringing and balancing into each practice that we do. And so for this practice, we started with energizing and waking up the body, which also helps the students get more attentive and present. And then we ended class with a guided relaxation, which included a progressive relaxation from head down to toes. Now, this is my favorite way to relax and unwind at the end of the day. And if you are someone who has difficulty sleeping, then this guided body scan can be a great resource for you in order to help relax and unwind at the end of the day. So these are all the tools that we have. You'll have links to both of the resource videos in the end of this. And I do hope that this helps to provide some really basic information on something that is really important for our ability to be effective in the classroom, and not just for our students, but also for ourselves, right? So if you're ever feeling a little tired, doing some stretches, engaging the muscles, getting the body and the breath moving together, these are tools and tricks that we have in our toolkit that we can use anytime, anywhere, no matter where we are or what we're doing. I hope that helps. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you again in week 3.